because we, the Asian people, we are a kind of a stagnant. We are marginalized over the years. It took us since, in this present dispensation of Fourth Republic, since 1999, not just since 1999, since Edo State has been created in consonance with the law of the Federation, no any Asian person has become governor. It has been on rotation between Edo North and Edo South. Edo South has been deputy governor for 16 years, while Edo North has been deputy governor for 16 years, and Edo South has also been governor for 16 years. Edo North has also been governor for 16 years. Both Edo North and Edo South, they have been governor and deputy for 16 years respectively. And with the Asian people, we have never been opportune to even be deputy or even governor, even SSG within this period. The political comatose and the political imbroglio that have bedeviled the state in the past is as a result of politics we are not being played in consonance with global best practice.
But should it be about, wait, you still have the floor, but should it be about rotation or competence?
Yes, it's about competence. And it's about, it's not competency, it's not, I as a psychologist, a political scientist, you don't measure competence or intelligence based on speak big grammar. In APC and in Edo State today, we believe in you talk less and you more work. You can see today what is happening in Edo State. Edo State is becoming a construction hub. If you go to Eastern Land, there are roads that we have been where you see big signboard.
But don't derail from the topic. Don't derail from the topic.
Where you see big signboard, this place is a federal road. Please bear with us. Today, those signboard has been removed by the Apako rescue.
Yeah, it's about the by-election.
The by-election issue, it is because, as a result of the good governance, because of the dividends of democracy, because of what the governor is doing for the people of Edo State. It's not only peculiar to Eastern Land. You can also see what translated in Ovia Federal Constituency. How Monsede Iguinedi dislodged the PDP candidate. It was a match down, and it's an attestation of the fact that the governor of Edo State is doing well.
Okay, well, we also see reports, even if we are the governor, we also say that a lot of this credit goes to the president. It shows that the policies, of his administration, they are really working well. But let's get your thoughts on the outcome of the by-election, Shadrach.
First of all, it's not proper for me to sit down and allow half-truths and outright lies to be spewed into public. So I really want to say, I don't want to attack what my brother said personally, so I don't damage his personal reputation. But first of all, he didn't speak like an necessary to the governor, he spoke like an necessary to the Asian people. He made some business allegation to say that Asian has never produced, a governor has never done this. But they say when it was Bender State, Edo and Delta together, Bruce from Edo Central, it was pre-governor. After that, we know what happened when Professor Sarimo Osubo became governor. And we know how persons in Edo South and Edo North worked hand in hand, governor of Baskin particular, to ensure that the Asian agenda is a truth. And then when he talked about this, so that issue of when to polarize the politics to say, that one is particularly out of space. Then he spoke about INEC being good, INEC being sound, INEC worked well, Beaver worked optimally. It was not up to 5 hours into the election when Monday Okpebolo reported on the Punch newspaper that the Beaver didn't work, that the election is slow, and even managed struggled to get accredited in his own unit when he went. It came out in national dailies. So the idea to now say that it was just the partisan, the opposition that was crying that INEC didn't work well is far from reality. You can go and fast check all of those details. Because a governor cannot be said Beavers didn't work, and the SSA say Beavers worked. That's an error in communication. But beyond all of that, we saw what happened during this 2027 by-election, 2025 by-election. Was just a microcosm of the larger macrocosm. It was what they had conceived. It was an opportunity for the cronies, the surrogates of Bola Ahmed Tinubu to attempt to practice what they have preached. They attempt to, we saw candidates being adopted. A candidate in the election being adopted and taken into a hostage, and after the election be released. We saw the mass deployment of vote buying because they have weaponized poverty. Bola Ahmed Tinubu having resumed last year, 2023, weaponized, but to ensure that the average Nigerian cannot think beyond the food he needs to feed himself. By ensuring that the major requirement for survival is heightened. After weaponizing poverty, they ensured that the institutions of Nigerian democracy they were practically destabilized, destroyed beyond recognition. To know that INEC, even if this government come out today and say INEC will carry out free, fair, and credible election, nobody will believe because they are so indoctrinated in legality and impunity. So they say that nobody cannot, even if you say Obi will win, the question is that we know Obi will win. Will his vote count? INEC today, you go to INEC to collect certified true copies of results. The word results you collect, when you hold it together and you put it together with the local government coalition, you will tell them these certified true copies you are giving to us. The numbers in the word is not the same as the one in the unit. They'll say, now that's why you are going to court. You go and prove it, they are not here. INEC has become very, very responsible. If you go beyond that, we see the mass deployment of state resources, the mass deployment of the institutions of government, the police, the DSS, the military men. They were mightily used. It was not an issue of might is right. That wherever you like, you can bully people to submission. In Esa Central, I was speaking, I just laughed. Since the return of democracy in 1999, Edo Central has never produced up to 70,000 votes. Can go and fact check. It's always between 65,000 and 60,000. But guess what? In this last by-election, when there was no voters turnout, only Monday Okpebolo's candidate got 105,000. That means to say, put all the votes together, they had about 125,000 persons coming out to vote in Edo Central. That's half of what they've always gotten. And I began to ask, is that people went to wake your dead ancestors to come out from the game and bring their PVC and come and cast their vote? In an election where it's mad with irregularity, people who can lie. I saw results on social media. And then when somebody brought a result that they had 600 voters for 600 votes for APC, and I said, okay, if 600 votes for APC, I'm not arguing with you. Go and bring the results that you had in the just concluded 2024 gubernatorial election. Let us see how many people came to vote in this your polling unit. If they are up to 300, I will quit politics. They come out, it's shameful. When people now begin to celebrate crime and criminality, when young men now want to focus on illegality, as long as it favors them, I tell them that many of them are progressing in error. In time past, when politicians were rigging elections, they were doing it in secrecy. They were hiding. Even if you catch and say, oh, you are rigging, they will deny that they are not. That result is not their doing. But you see this useless set of youths we have today, they will go and rig election, bring it to social media, and begin to defend it and begin to celebrate the clueless they did. And they begin to wonder why the leaders are not taking them seriously. It was supposed to just say that even among criminals, there is honor. That is to say, if I want to go and steal and I want you to join me to steal, I will first of all believe that you will not steal from me. Even among thieves, there must be a level of trust. You are going to an election, you are working for a party leader, and you are behaving like you don't have any scruples of virtues, no commitment to the democratic values, and you say you want to grow, and you think all of us in this state, we are not watching. I think tomorrow you will clean us off and go and bring people in the that will not work and vote for you. It's very irritating. I watch them, they just mad themselves, they destroy their political career before it even begins. By and large, whether you like it or not, what Bola Ahmed Tinubu has shown is on level of desperation. But let them make no mistake about it. They're thinking. They are not thinking to say that since they're able to bully people to submission, they're able to show force, and they're shouting, Mondo Babble, is not the ballot. The person they brought cannot campaign, cannot come on ITV and make 10 statements without one grammatical error. I dare say, if Joseph Ikpia can come on this chair that is seated and make 5 consecutive statements and does not make one grammatical error, I will start supporting APC. These people do not have the requisite capacity to offer the basic requirement to good governance. And yet they begin to use this show of force. Many people today, they find it very easy to, so this is some persons, they find it very easy to identify Mondo Babble. Mondo Babble have played strong dedication to ethnic politics. The appointments, many of them are skewed towards the Asan origin. Even the infrastructural development, the ones he's doing in Edo South are the ones that are white elephant project that is being used to gop and steal resources. You see this one, the flyover and Amapak, the other flyover that is non-existent, that 25% have been paid out. All of those ones are done to steal money from government. The only place is doing some form of changes, some form of democracy, some form of work. Like, okay, this man has some level 1. He's in a Asan that extends on village road trying to open up a place, which is fine. In Edo, nothing is happening. So when it begins to make it look as though it is easy when you someone to support on the people, whether in PDP or APC, you can just feel like he's supporting our brothers. Our brothers are celebrating. So that one should not be a basis of the engagement.
All right.
When we try to calculate, what I try to say most times in a summary, that the issue of that Nigeria needs to be strategically repositioned for good governance. This thing we do every 4 years and call it election cannot bring home the dividend of democracy because the politics is skewed against governance.
Okay.
For you to return back as an incumbent, it is no longer a yardstick of whether you perform or not. It's not an issue whether you can fight and drag the mandate, irrespective of the opinions of the people.
All right, do you say you concur to what he said? Or what's your position?
I don't want to even waste my energy to react to what my brother has to say because most of the things say they are just, the arguments are neither here nor there. Only of them are misguided. It's an issue of education and orientation. I believe as he's in government now, when he gets closer, he will be able to understand the language of government and the position of government in the scheme of things. Let me focus on the more germane issues, the issues of the INEC and then some of the things that needs to be done before 2027, so that we're able to at least have an election that will be a reflection of the yearnings and desires of the Nigerian people. You know, we can come all around here and make some noise and crack our jaw talk, make some business allegations, things that can be associated, but it does not take the truth from reality. You know, my mom even said the fact that once people were adopted, but let us go and get the fact of the matter before come and discuss it. What kind of rubbish talk is that? That you want people were arrested on the day of the election, where they should be mobilizing and casting their vote. You go and catch them and take their position that you have investigation. When it's after 4 hours, you release and say, oh, nothing was found. We thought it was a report that you had guns, and we leave it to go. Then when they not release you now, which case do we now want to start shit? A man was arrested by police. What is the allegation there? Did he come out to say he doesn't know the police station they took him to? You know, APC are very good at deceiving Nigerians. That's their stock in trade. But first of all this is possible because of 3 major things they've done to the Nigerian people. First of all, like I said before, without missing words, they have weaponized poverty. Nigerians were poor, but now poverty is now used as a tool. Because people now leave their house. Before then, when you go to polling unit, you see them sharing money. People are scared who can scatter the money, who can destroy the vote, can do all of that. Now, people go there and ask, who is sharing money? How much are you sharing?
Did it start with the APC or the PDP?
No, because when it started with the APC and PDP. When it was the People's Democratic Party, they said they were vote buying. It was not. Jonathan not lose. If he bought vote, why did he lose? I'm telling you this one now. There was poverty, but it's not as deep as we have it now. The economy was bad, but now it's in comatose.
Meaning that you also passed the blame on your party?
No, when I say the People's Democratic Party made an effort to reposition the Nigerian democracy, we are failing forward.
How?
But now, what we see that Nigeria is galloping backward. You cannot tell me that the level of hardship we faced under Buhari, the kind of insecurity and the collapse of the Nigerian economy is the same we faced during Jonathan. When Buhari left, we were saying let us go back to the era of Jonathan. That's what some Nigerians, even to date, if anybody can give us back the economic feasibility, the statistics, and the situation we had when it was Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, when it was Musa Yar'Adua, when it was Obasanjo, is far better than any of these things we have now. The level of borrowing, indebtedness, inflation, insecurity, economic hardship is untold in the history of Nigeria. And by and large, the way and manner they pending governance shows that they do not have the conscience, the interest of the average Nigerian man at heart. First of all, beyond that weaponization of poverty, there is what we call a wide, illiterate public. The average Nigerian is not just poorly educated, but they have near absence of political education. They appear not to know what is required of them. Because of the system of government we practice, what we practice here is democratic government, a system of government that gives power to the people. But when the people do not know that they have this power, when the people are not educated, they are not enlightened enough to hold the tenets of democracy and instruct the leaders to do good, it becomes a worrisome challenge. Let me tell you, what we have in this country is that because of our long history of monarchical governance, where we had our Obas, our Emir, that thing appears to have entered into the spirit. That is why even when Christianity came, people still approached their religious leaders as though they were Obas and Emirs. They say give them that reverence of God. That is the same attitude we also carry into democracy. When you see a governor or House of Assembly member, people need that to greet the House of Assembly member. They need that because they don't see them as a servant. In the Western world, people see their leaders as their servant, whom they mandated to go and offer development to them. But in Africa, we see them as our God that we need to worship and reverence so that they can bless us and improve our life. So it is practically impossible they have in Nigeria. In Nigeria, people fight for their God. But when it's not time, when their rights are violated, they pray to God for their rights and they do not fight. The few who understand that they need to fight for their rights, they fight for their rights without the knowledge of their duties and responsibility to society. And when they fight, they do not fight with respect to other persons whose rights are in minority. So the people, first of all, is a critical issue that we need to address. The Nigerian electorate, they are poorly informed, poorly educated, and there's a new access of political education. If you go to INEC, you know the issue of INEC, I told you about the issue of political reforms, it's going to take a huge time. First of all, INEC, when you think about INEC, first of all, has not been able to show sincerity of purpose. People have even clamored that INEC should be taken away from the executive arm and be handed over to the NJC, the Nigeria Judicial Commission, the Nigeria Judicial Council, so that they will superintend over the structuring. INEC will now be restructured for independence and integrity. Whereas, if you the man who spoke that made reference to electronic voting, we have never gotten there. What we are saying is that let the result after we vote. Because for me, there is no need for local government coalition. There's no need for state coalition. What will happen is that after we vote in the polling units and the results are collated in the world, they are updated immediately. Because it's not an issue of plus and minus.
All right, the pendulum will swing back to you because that's where we are now. I'm giving you